Hello and welcome to Navigating with Key. Here we have honest conversations about life, growth, faith, purpose, and navigating life's uncertain seasons. And I'm your host, Kenneth Eneojor Asenime, KEA Key, and I'm truly grateful you have chosen to spend the next few minutes with me. Life doesn't come with a map. There are no detailed instructions for every decision, every disappointment, or every unexpected turn. Most of us are simply trying to do our best with the information we have, hoping we are headed in the right direction. That realization inspired something that has become central to my life and to my work as well. And I call it the SAIL framework. SAIL, SAIL framework. Over the next 4 episodes, I'll walk you through this framework, one letter at a time. And my hope is that it becomes more than an acronym for you to remember. I hope it becomes a way of thinking that helps you respond to life's challenges with greater wisdom, resilience, and hope. You will also find this in great detail in my book, Set Your Sail. And trust me, the book is ready to hit the streets, bringing hope and life to so many people. So remember, we said September 18, we'll be having the book launch. And when that happens, it will go everywhere around the world. Everybody can grab a copy and have something they can always refer to in their own lives. The pages of this book are so beautiful. Each time I look at them, I'm just wondering how much more lives that can be changed by just having a copy of this book in the hands of people all around the world. So Set Your Sail is ready. You can see. Grab your copy soon. All right. So what is the SAIL framework? It stands for S, slow down. A, accept where you are. I, identify your next step. And L, lead forward. Each principle of this framework builds on the one before it, creating a practical compass for navigating uncertain seasons. Today, we'll begin with the first principle, which is slow down. So if you're ready, let's hop into it. Every journey needs a compass. Have you ever noticed that when life becomes uncertain, our instinct is usually to speed up? We rush to make decisions. We search for immediate answers. We compare ourselves to people who seem to have life figured out. Not a bad thing to do, but sometimes it makes us feel pressure to solve something today. The more uncertain life becomes, the faster we try to move. But here's what I have learned: speed is not the same as progress. Hello? Speed is not the same as progress. Sometimes the fastest way to get lost is to keep moving without taking time to understand where you are. I'm pretty sure you agree with me on that. Now, let's imagine a captain sailing through heavy fog. Would that captain increase speed because visibility is poor? Of course not. The wiser response is to reduce speed, check the instruments, reassess the surroundings, and move carefully. But why then do we often do the opposite in our own lives? When emotions are high, we often make our quickest decisions. And unfortunately, those are sometimes the decisions we later wish we could undo. So, what does it mean to slow down? Slowing down doesn't mean giving up. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean becoming lazy or refusing to make decisions. Slowing down means creating enough space between what happens or what happened and how we respond. It means choosing reflection before reaction. It's about asking better questions before searching for quick answers. Sometimes slowing down looks like stepping away from your phone. Yes, that's what it could mean sometimes. Sometimes it could just mean taking a walk without distractions. Sometimes it could mean praying. Sometimes it could mean journaling, just writing down what's going on. Sometimes it's just asking someone you trust, asking the person, can I talk this through with you? You know, sometimes it could just simply mean sleeping on a decision instead of making it in the heat of the moment. Slowing down creates room for wisdom. So the big question is, why do we resist slowing down? If slowing down is so helpful, why is it so difficult? I think there are three reasons. And the very first reason is fear. We worry that if we pause, we'll fall behind. We see everyone else moving quickly and we convince ourselves that slowing down means losing ground. But bro, it's not. Well, life itself is not a race. The goal isn't to arrive first. Honestly, it's not arriving first. The goal is to arrive whole, complete, healthy, with your mind intact. And I think the second reason is noise. We live in a world that constantly demands our attention. Yes, everything is asking for our attentions. Notifications everywhere from our phones, the news, people's opinions, social media. Oh my God, that's the big one. Then our emails. We have so many deadlines to meet. And somewhere in all that noise, it's easy to lose the quiet voice of wisdom, easy to miss it. And I think the third reason is discomfort. When we slow down, we often come face to face with thoughts and emotions. And these are thoughts and emotions we've been likely, what's the word to use now? Maybe avoiding. Thoughts and emotions we've been avoiding. We finally notice the grief, the disappointment, the exhaustion, the unanswered questions. But healing rarely begins while we're on the run. Healing begins when we slow down and confront the issue. So sometimes slowing down is the most courageous thing we can do. So I have had seasons in my own life where I believed that working harder, doing more, and staying busy would somehow solve everything. Looking back, I realized that some of my greatest moments of clarity didn't come while I was rushing. They came during the quiet moments, moments I stopped trying to control everything, moments where I accepted that I didn't have all the answers, moments when I simply became still long enough to listen. I have learned that wisdom often speaks slowly, softly, gently. If we are constantly rushing, we may never hear it. I want you to hear that again. Wisdom speaks softly. And when we are constantly rushing on the move, wanting to get things done, we may miss the voice of wisdom. So, putting slow down into practice this week, I would like to leave you with three simple practices. First, create one moment of intentional silence every day. For the rest of this week, create one moment of intentional silence every day. It doesn't have to be long, 5 or 10 minutes is just enough. No phone, no music, no distraction. Just breathe and allow yourself to be present. Now, the second thing is before making an important decision, ask yourself, am I responding from fear or am I responding from wisdom? Did you get the second one? Ask yourself, am I responding from fear or am I responding from wisdom? That one question can change everything. Now, the third is give yourself permission to pause. Permit yourself to slow down. Not every message requires an immediate reply. Not every opportunity requires an instant decision. Not every season requires constant activity. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is pause long enough to see clearly. So, before we close today, I would like to introduce something I will invite you to do at the end of every episode in this series, and I call it the sale log. Today's questions are simple. So, under Slowdown, you will ask yourself, where in my life am I moving faster than wisdom? So that's the first thing. So you write that down in your sale, call it your sale log, write it down. Where in my life am I moving faster than wisdom? Then under accept, ask yourself this question. What feeling or situation have I been avoiding? Did you get that? What feeling or situation have I been avoiding? Then the third, which is identify, is what is one thing I need to think through instead of rushing? One thing you need to think through instead of rushing. And now the final one, which is lead forward, is what one intentional step will I take after today's episode? So take a few moments today to write your answers down. You might be surprised how much clarity comes when you slow down long enough to listen to yourself. So I want to say thank you for joining me for today's episode of our Sale Framework series. Next time, we'll explore the second principle, which is accept where you are. We'll talk about why acceptance is not giving up, why honesty is the beginning of growth, and how embracing reality can become the foundation for hope. So until then, remember this. You don't have to have your whole life figured out today. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is simply slow down, breathe, and trust that clarity often follows patience. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Navigating with Key. And if today's conversation encouraged you, I would love for you to subscribe, share this episode with someone who may need it, and join me again as we continue learning how to navigate life's uncertain seasons together. So until next time, keep navigating. And I'm Kenneth Eneojor Asenime, KEA, your host. Take care. Bye bye.